Street can throw that football through those uprights right there, we'll give you $300,000. Are you okay with that? $300,000. If Kirk Street can throw it through those uprights, former Ohio State quarterback, no warm-up, full suit for Gavin. Get Gavin. Okay. He's throwing it to $500,000. All right, Gavin. Good luck. What Georgia dog? My parents will love that. Okay. He's throwing it to $500,000.
Oh, I see now. I see what happened. Welcome in and welcome back to Hybrid Studios and to the Coliseum. Today in the Coliseum, we have a few of the different characters that we have talked about up to this point kind of converging in a weird way, and a few of the different teams that we have focused on converging in some funny and interesting ways over the past weekend. Here at the beginning, I always want to do a little bit of housekeeping and let you guys know that I appreciate you very much for both clicking on this video and for engaging with Hybrid Studios in the ways that you guys have. The numbers so far have been very, very encouraging, and I cannot thank you enough. So with that being said, I do want to let you know that my anniversary was over this past weekend. My birthday is tomorrow. If you're watching this, it's probably today. I don't know if I'll actually get this video out today or if it'll be tomorrow, but regardless, if I've now told you that my birthday is in or around when you're watching this, then I mean, it'd be kind of a dick move, right? To not like it, to not share it with somebody. Yeah, with all that being said, birthday tomorrow, anniversary was last week, which is why the schedule got a little bit messed up there. And next week I will be out on vacation. Just want to give you guys a heads up on that. But with that being said, we're going to jump right into what we got college football wise today. We got a lot of UCLA. We're going to talk about UCLA and Penn State, which is right here in the front. James Franklin was tired of y'all saying he loses, which we did talk about this, by the way, last week. James Franklin was tired of y'all saying he loses the big game, so he decided to mess around in a non-big game and prove y'all wrong. Oregon and Ohio State fans watching their best wins get walked down by horrible teams. Yeah, so last week we talked about Oregon and Dante Moore beating Penn State at Penn State in a double OT game, the first ever whiteout game for Penn State. I think that is not as good of a win as it was just a week ago whenever we talked about that. Penn State has now dropped out of the top 10, top 25, and so has Texas. What do we have here? I literally haven't seen this. Giving up on the final play of this is inexcusable. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, what the hell? He's running out of bounds. What was that? Let's see. Okay, hook and ladder. There's nobody around him at all. And then Buddy just... What is he doing? I don't even know how to explain that. Like, I don't know what you could possibly... how you explain that one if you're number 16 there. But what do we have going on here? What the fuck? Oh no, there's no way that the sound matters for this one. Oh my god. I don't even know what he's saying, but okay, yeah. Johnny Manziel, that's so funny. How bad is UNC this year? Okay, we're gonna move past that. My wife is watching. Oh, what a great way to start a video. Takes a knee and warm-ups before facing Alabama. What is he thinking with it? Like, are we practicing the victory formation? They're just annoying. They're so annoying. Since 2016, Vanderbilt's has won more national championships than Alabama. What? I've seen more championships than Van. I don't, because of baseball? What does that have to do with anything? This shit here, dude. Let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about the Pat McAfee kicks, okay? In the last few weeks, we've had a guy come on and have somebody else kick for him. That was, come to find out, that guy has, kicking experience, and then he makes it. There was another one recently where the guy practiced a lot with his brother, who was a kicker, or something like that, and he tried to downplay it or something during game day. But now we have the guy, bringing the guy on to, the second, this shit drives me crazy. Okay, so the bringing of the second person onto the set seems like obvious cheating, doesn't it? Or no? I don't know. But this right here, that definitely does seem like cheating to me. But what is even, what is this? Let's watch this together. So yeah, moving into the topics that we're going to talk about today, Nico Iamaleava and UCLA finally get their first win, and it's not a small one at all. They beat Penn State at Penn State. This is kind of surprising, as we said before, with Penn State now falling out of the top 25, Texas now falling out of the top 25 after they lose at Florida as well over the weekend, which we will also talk about. But UCLA, we literally just talked about them last week, how they may not win a game with the schedule that they have coming up, and at Penn State looked like one of the least winnable games, especially whenever you consider that they had no head coach, no offensive coordinator, or no defensive coordinator going into the game. Literally, they fired their head coach, parted ways with their offensive coordinator. Not really sure what the difference is there, but also parted ways with their defensive coordinator. And so they had no head coach, no DC, no OC, just vibes. Let's rock, baby. It's funny because they ended up winning the game. Let's take a listen to this.
Fucking homeboy Nico, dog. What? I told y'all. Hey, does Joey Aguilar have a win as good as my boy Nico does right now?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't. I can't. Hey, this is your moment, dog.
$4 million, dog. That's all it would have took. That's all it would have took, man.
Something made the Bruins get up and play football today. And anytime that you compete, anytime you give it your all and you go out there with snap and fervor and determination, you can win. And they did. I don't even want to move on from what UCLA was able to accomplish. This is a magnificent, gigantic win for them. But oh my God, my lordy, is Penn State in hell. Penn State hasn't been in this much hell since something happened. And we're not going to bring it up. But Penn State is in hell. Yeah. This is hell for Penn State. What the fuck is going on in Happy Valley?
Golly, Penn is freaking out. I mean, listen, UCLA is probably the worst team in college football, and they just lost at home to them right after losing to Oregon. I mean, I've already said it a couple times. They went from like the number 2 or number 3 team in the country whenever they played Oregon to being out of the top 25. It's pretty crazy. And again, we just talked about James Franklin's teams usually being overhyped. Drew Aller, I think, is pretty safe to say that he's overhyped. Yeah, they definitely are in hell, and good for Nico and good for UCLA. Giving a little bit of a shout out and a highlight here to UCLA coach Jerry Neuheisel, who was the guy that we mentioned earlier that was carried off the shoulders right here 11 years ago versus yesterday. It was exactly 11 years apart. It says 11 years ago as UCLA's backup quarterback, the same thing happened when they beat Texas 20-17 in the last-minute TD drive led by Jerry Neuheisel. First thing I want to say is that I love UCLA more than anything, and the kind of kids you see that played on that field today is exactly why you love a place like this. We had 2 days to practice a new game plan, and all they did was believe, and we came out and played as hard as we could for 64 minutes. Yeah, good for him. I think there's a couple of clips in here that are, first of all, Buddy looks like Macaulay Culkin, doesn't he? Home Alone. Anyways, okay, here we go.
Never practice with the headset in terms of like the button to talk to the quarterback. So there's like multiple times during the game I'm calling the play, but the headset's flipped up because I'm used to being a position coach. And then all of a sudden I'm pressing the wrong part of the button trying to talk to him. Like it was a mess. Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up by next week. But just one of those days. It just all kind of fell into place. I hate to say this, but I had never practiced with the headset.
I mean, you gotta just absolutely hate that if you're Penn State, right? I mean, that's got to be just absolute insult to injury. Not only is Jerry Neuheisel is the interim coach coaching, James Franklin just got out-coached by a frat guy. Oh, that is hilarious. Damn Sunshine from Remember the Titans as a head coach now. Denzel will be proud. That's so hilarious. Yeah. He looks like a lot of things, man. That dude looks like a lot of things, Jerry Neuheisel. But good for him. His dad, Rick Neuheisel, is a analyst on CBS, I believe, and he was talking about how special it was to see him do what he did. So that's really cool. Good for him. Good for Nico. Good for UCLA. Bad for Penn State. Bad for James Franklin. Not a good time whenever you have a team come in with no head coach, no offensive coordinator, no defensive coordinator, and a guy who's never even called plays to the point that he doesn't even know how the headset works. And you end up taking an L at home the week after you just lost a game that was, yet again, your typical James Franklin loss. And like that other post said, he basically said, oh, you think I can only lose big games, huh? So yeah, not a good look for Penn State, not a good look for James Franklin, UCLA. Congratulations to them. Maybe this guy will be able to keep up the way that he is coaching right now. Maybe they'll win a few more games. Maybe he'll be able to stay there. Rick Neuheisel, by the way, his dad that I was just mentioning was also the head coach at UCLA. That's why I mentioned that. So yeah, very, very cool for him. Moving on to another weird convergence of stories that we have talked about so far is Texas and Florida. We talked a lot about DJ Lagway. We talked a lot about Arch Manning and how he hasn't really lived up to the expectations. Neither one of them have really lived up to the expectations. And I think it's safe to say that Arch is continuing to do that whenever you're down by 15 in the fourth quarter at 1-3 Florida, and that is what you do right there. There was a couple good throws in here by Arch. I don't know what happened with that dude. I think he just fell down, but I don't know how, but he stayed in bounds right here, but he did. And I mean, good God, you can't even bring him down. I mean, they're just getting bullied, and they did kind of get bullied. I mean, what the fuck? What is that dude doing? What in the hell? Oh my God, dude. Wow. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Let's see if this is that one throw. Arch did have one really, really, really special throw. I think it's, no, it's not that one. Definitely not that one. God bless. I mean, I guess these are his 2 picks, but and that's in the fourth quarter as well. So 2 fourth quarter picks by Arch. The Swamp is historically a pretty hard place to play. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I mean, okay, here's a little bit better. We're in the second quarter, so they're down 10-0 to start out with. He does get a touchdown right there. I love this comment right here, by the way, by Prize Picks of all people. He'll always have his flex versus Sam Houston. Arch is a regular average QB. He'll hype him up too much. Now look. Yeah, I definitely think that we did hype him up too. Well, generally speaking, he was hyped up to 22-7. This throw, though, is the throw that I was talking about. This throw there is crazy. Rolling to his left, shakes somebody off, takes a couple steps. I mean, that is a ball. That is a ball. But, you know, he just can't do it consistently enough. Here's the pick again from a different angle. I mean, that's a bad throw. It's just a bad throw. It really is. I mean, dude's not even really open, but if you're going to put it on him, you really want to hit him right in the numbers and give him something to work with there. But, yeah, let's see. Yep, and then this is the other one, too. Just way too much air under it. Looks like the guy had a couple steps on the Florida defender as well, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But, yeah, overall, not a good performance from Arch. They were, let's see if we have, I think we got his stats up here. Yeah, 16 for 29, 263, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 15 rushes for 38 yards. 15 rushes? They ran him 15 times. So they must not have any kind of run game going on right now. The Longhorns dropped to 3-2 on the year. Their second loss, obviously, and drops them out of the top 25, which is kind of crazy again because Penn State was in the top 5 just now, a couple weeks ago. And Texas was number 9 coming into this game. And then you lose to 1-3 Florida and you get dominated. And they just say, you know what? To hell with you. You're out of there. Last story that I want to talk about is one that's a little bit more on the serious side, unfortunately. Kyren Lacy, a player for LSU in the past draft that just went by. This is kind of a bittersweet story as far as it is good that this was discovered, that this was put out there, that this was corrected, but also really, really sad because Kyren Lacy never even made it to see his dreams fulfilled. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll kind of just go through this post. Breaking the late Kyren Lacy's attorney, Matt Ory, unveiled surveillance clips and body cam footage that confirms his client was innocent and wrongly framed for negligent homicide and hit and run following the December 2024 fatal car crash that took the life of 78-year-old Herman Hall in Louisiana. In the videos attached to this post, Ory proves that Lacy was driving a 2023 Dodge Charger, was nowhere near the crash. At the time of the impact, Kyren Lacy is 72.6 yards behind the vehicle. That is not how this story was ever painted. Ory dissected the police body cam video and pointed out how the responding police officer framed Lacy by giving instructions to the witness he was filing a report for. In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature, indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a Charger. In responding to the officer, the witness clearly stated that the woman was responsible for the car crash, not Lacy. I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me and she pulled into the other side. So essentially what's going on here is that Kyren Lacy was facing charges of negligent homicide because of a 2024 car wreck that took the life of this man, this 78-year-old man here. So essentially what happened was not only was he innocent, but it appears that he may have actually been framed for it. Let's go through this video real quick.
Left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he wasn't even fucking close to it. That is nuts. I haven't watched that yet. Well, I'm going to click on the next video real quick, but one piece of context that's important is what happened to him is that he was facing these charges, and he essentially ran from police. And, you know, I'm just going to say, like, what it appears to have happened. It appears that he didn't do it, that he was afraid that his career was over, that his life was over, that he was about to go to jail for something that he didn't do. I wish to God that he would have waited a little bit longer. And his attorney apparently was trying to explain that to him, but he essentially ran from police and then took his own life. And it appears to be that it was because he, felt like he was going to be found guilty for this. And I actually saw something that somebody else said too. I think it was Stephen A. Smith that said when it first came out, that almost seemed like actually it was Van Lathan. It was who we just watched with the in the other clip about UCLA. But Van Lathan was saying that in a weird way that it kind of seemed like that was like an admission of guilt, that he took his own life, because if you were innocent, you would have waited for the system to work its course. And I totally agree with that. That's what I initially thought too. And now that you see this, you just see it's so clearly not what happened. And you really wish that he would have been able to, one way or the other, wait. But yeah, let's continue this.
He was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacy getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with state police in this matter, their investigations. And in that investigation, however, he was.
So look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, address. Don't worry.
Back in his lane of
about any.
This is the cop talking to the witness, or the who is he talking to? Body cam footage. I guess this is the guy. In response to the officer, the witness clearly stated, "Yes, it's a witness."
Right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, me and my wife gonna figure out right quick.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. That wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me. She didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's how that is.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? Right. And that's why you had to slam on your brake, head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here. So look, don't worry about filling any of
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
I mean, that's the thing too, is that like you're not even really supposed to, you're not supposed to coach the witness, I think is what it's called. You're not supposed to coach a witness at all. You're not supposed to tell them what to say at all. They're supposed to just fill out their thing. And it's just really, really sad. I don't really understand what the motive behind this would be. I don't know why they like went out of their way to pin it on him. I really don't. But hopefully more information comes out whenever it comes to that. But it's just so messed up, man.
And just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, like, you know, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. That wasn't even wrong for me. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's not it.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side.
So, yeah, really just a sad situation. Kyren Lacy, would have been one of the higher picks in this upcoming draft, and it's just really a sad situation. It's good to know that he was innocent wherever he is. I hope that he knows that. But that being said, that is going to be everything that we got for you today on the college football episode of the Coliseum for this week. We covered UCLA, Jerry Neuheisel defeating Penn State, Texas losing to Florida, and Kyren Lacy being innocent of the charges that he was presumed to be guilty of at the time of his death, unfortunately. Like I said, next week I will not be doing college football or NFL because I will be out of town, but I'm going to try to get something prepared to come out next week. And if not, I will see you the following week after that. So please come back and stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys so much, as always. I have big plans for this channel, starting pretty quickly after we get back from vacation, including starting to put out some vlogs, some old stuff from the first channel that I think will be pretty interesting, just to kind of warm the palate on those kind of things. I appreciate you guys as always, and we will see you next time.